Welcome back to the channel, sleepers. Well, we have an interesting video ahead as Funcom today released its new information on the roadmap for the game for the next few months and into 2026. In this video, we'll break down every major piece of the roadmap, from free updates and paid DLC to the long-awaited endgame overhaul, fresh quality of life features, survival tweaks, the future of console play, and what's coming at Gamescom 2025. Plus, we'll spotlight how Funcom is finally nailing the community feedback after a bumpy launch. So spice up your water, tighten your still suit, and let's dive into the future of Dune Awakening. Let's start with the big picture. Funcom's roadmap released today. It stretches from the next big September update all the way to summer 2026 and even hints beyond. The headline here is a new regular cadence of updates, major content, feature drops every 3 to 4 months, and crucially, Funcom has synchronized the release, pairing free progression chapters with paid DLC, so the entire player base, from free to season pass holders, feels the momentum together. Starting with the free update schedule, chapters 2 through 4, kicking things off next month, the free chapter 2 update keeps the main story rolling forward. Players can expect new story missions, deeper narrative threads, and fresh quest chains set in Arrakis and Harco Village. There's also much requested barbershop for full character recustomization, dynamic random encounters that shake up exploration, the significant changes to deep desert layouts to keep each season, yes, seasons fresh. For quarter 1 2026, we'll get chapter 3 in January to March. Chapter 3 delivers what so many players have been waiting for: the full revamp of endgame systems, especially the Landsrad. More on that overhaul soon, but expect new competitive activities, better progression and rewards, retooled to keep power players grinding week after week. So they're going to spice up that Landsrad gameplay, so to speak. Next, Chapter 4 in the spring of 2026, the schedule between April and June. Chapter 4 is still mostly under wraps. If history's a guide, it'll offer another main story expansion, more group PvE contracts, and perhaps the first hints of solo-friendly endgame content. An area Funcom teased for more love in response to the feedback. Next, moving on to the paid section DLC release overview. Each free chapter comes with its own optional premium DLC. Importantly, these DLCs are either priced individually or included in the game's Season Pass Deluxe Ultimate Edition, but the owners will get them automatically if they have those. Lost Harvest comes September to December 2025, which is right around the corner. A narrative-rich side story DLC. You'll brave the wreckage of a stranded harvester, piece together a desperate crew's fate, and unearth secrets that predate the Atreides, the new vehicle, unique cosmetics, and contract chains set in all new locations. So that's exciting. We're going to get a new vehicle with that DLC. The next DLC, which will be January to March, Raiders of the Broken Lands, enter the jagged isolation wilds of Arrakis. This cosmetic-heavy DLC is themed around the desert raiders. Think armor, skins, flags, vehicles, emote packs, deeper raid lore. So that's pretty interesting as well. And then the Water Wars DLC, which is going to be around April to June next year. This is the big one. Water is life, and now the water shippers' families are at open war. Expect a new northern region centered on the polar caps. Full-scale guild and faction PvP for water resources, seasonal resets, and structures built for defending or raiding water facilities. Gear up for the best Mad Max fantasy. This is Dune's answer to survival war zones. Oh, interesting. They mentioned that. Possible war zone, maybe an extraction type situation map. Who knows? Now let's talk about the endgame revamp and the Landsrad overhaul that's coming down the line. For endgame MMO veterans, the current Landsrad system is getting a major overhaul in Chapter 3. Landsrad is Dune's version of endgame PvP, PvE political gameplay where player guilds and factions vie for control, broker alliances, and enact worldwide decrees that literally change the game rules for each new weekly cycle. Under the new systems, you can expect some of the following, such as more varied Landsrad tasks, assassination races, construction challenges, duels, faction versus faction maps, improved control points, scavenger hunts, and time-limited crafting events. A new weekly cycle with clearer progression and leaders boards, so your victories or defeats matter for more than just cosmetic points. and improvements to faction balance so solo or smaller guilds can still make meaningful endgame progress, even as mega clans slug it out. Deep Desert is evolving too, with instanced loot, more dangerous layouts, and a push to bring it back to a true sandbox where control of spice is always under contention. Look for new no-fly zones to force ground combat and improved technical performance, making massive battles more stable than ever. That is going to be a game changer, the no-fly zone, which I have thought that would be a good idea for land combat, increasing that. Very interesting. One of the most requested community features is better activity logs. So they'll be working on that in the future as well, especially for base attacks, vehicle theft, and event triggers. The response was an improved logging system via the community in-game app and new email alerts tied to critical base events. Also, whether it be a sandstorm, a PvP raid, or a vulnerability timer, you'll get immediate pings. Players can keep track of and tabs on even spot incoming threats while offline. Wow. As Arrakis never sleeps, neither should your alarms. So, you can set it up to have email alerts to your real-world email account if something's going on in your base in-game. Very interesting. Also, some big news is that Funcom officially confirmed Dune Awakening will arrive on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X in 2026, more than likely in the second half of the year, to ensure that it's well tested and it is smooth compared to the PC version with almost zero bugs, hopefully on launch. Development on console ports begin post-PC launch, allowing all the kinks, bugs, and meta issues to be ironed out before you step onto Arrakis on your console. Feature priority is a top priority, covering the same vehicles, base building, PvP, DLC, and full expansion content found on PC. Cross-play is still to be determined, but the community expects post-launch integration if performance permits, which is a very interesting aspect for me for console, because I do plan on playing this game on my PS5, which I will go buy a PS5 Pro for this system. And one thing I have not seen, it doesn't say it here, is if this game will eventually come out on Nintendo Switch 2. It doesn't appear to be in the works right now from anything we've seen, but we will keep a lookout for that. But yes, I will plan on using my character, hopefully, in cross-save. If that's not in the game, then I'll be starting a new character and restarting the adventure all over on PS5. So that'll be interesting, and I'll live stream that here on the channel. Next, set your clocks, because I believe Gamescom kicks off tomorrow as this video is being made. Set your alerts. Gamescom in Germany 2025 is where a ton of new deep dive previews land, including first gameplay of the Lost Harvest DLC and Chapter 2 storyline. Footage of the fresh vehicles and early teasers for the year's paid expansions. Community team members and creative directors will host panels and Q&As with more technical detail coming in following months and live streams. Very interesting. So Gamescom kicks off on the 19th, I believe, in Germany. I think that's tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And the community and the future. So we've seen the somewhat rocky launch that other players have been reporting, and Funcom's well aware of that. So Funcom knows it needs to win back full trust. Beyond bug fixes and content cadence, it's opening up more lines of communication than ever. Developer Twitch streams, Q&A forums of voting on roadmap priorities, and transparent restitution like the summer's refund for the PvE to PvP incident, which I guess they're talking about when Deep Desert bases were getting messed up during one of their updates, which didn't happen to me, but apparently it happened to other people. But yeah, I think that's what they're talking about there. Not 100% sure. But Gamescom 2025 will showcase even more, which starts off this weekend with new reveals set to hit both PC and console audiences. So that's very fun. In conclusion, there you have it. The future of Dune Awakening is looking sandy, spicy, shockingly transparent. Free chapters every few months, paid DLCs that feel like true expansions, ongoing endgame and balancing revamps, and expanding living world that will reach PlayStation and Xbox next year as well. So whether you're here for the hardcore PvP, politicking, story-driven survival, the interesting and spicy PvP that goes on out there in the Deep Desert, which I've been witness to. Very interesting. You'll also be able to keep on doing your PV loot cycling and leveling up your characters like normal. But what has you most hyped? Let me know in the comments below. Are you planning on return to the Water Wars when that comes out? Gearing up, looking for the new vehicle, hopefully the tank. I am very interested in this no-fly zones myself. That will be interesting for ground combat. And I think they said they're actually going to have a cargo container at some point for the carrier. So that's going to be very interesting as well. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I appreciate you for tuning in. I'm trying to present these videos a little bit better the last couple of times. Check out my lore videos and be staying tuned for Dune 3 update news as well. And I will see you out in the desert. Thank you.